right, so a couple weeks ago we had this Toyota in for a upgrade. This is third or fourth time he just keeps coming back to incrementally improve the way it sounds. Last time we had it in, we took out the Pioneer speakers, put in some punch speakers. Today he's in because he wants to roadkill the rear deck. Yeah, why not? So Fernando's gonna put some of the new Roadkill Ultimate on the rear deck. This is the Ultimate here. It has a foam, then it has a aluminum little foil, and then it has the butyl on the other side. So it goes butyl, aluminum, foam. This is really good for a rear deck. So we already have the fast rings, custom panels from last time. So we're just gonna cover this thing up. Now while he's doing that, I'm gonna take a look at the actual plastic part and see what I can do to help improve that. All right, so the trunk is covered in jute, which is this stuff here. We may or may not put this back in because we're not trying to kill all the sound. We're just trying to keep this thing from vibrating against the back deck. He's doing the Ultimate on that. I'm gonna do some regular in here because it rattles a lot here, around here. All done. Went ahead and put some foam here. This is just 1/8 inch weather stripping so that this doesn't smack up against the window like they like to. And then on the back side, gone ahead and added around these like to rattle. This area here was rattling, and of course around the light, of course that was rattling. So this is all, and then we added some here to make this curve more rigid. So this is now pretty deadened. Looking at the rear deck, now it has the layer of foam. All we have to do is cut out the little holes for where the clips go in. We added a set of just regular Roadkill across the back. Now it's time to marriage the two together, play a little bass, check for rattles. Is this one done, Fernando?
Done.
Where's he hiding? It's like you can't even see him.
I'm hiding right here.
There he is.
See me?
There he is. There he is right there. Whoa! All right, this one's done.
Trick or treat!
Dude, as we like to say, and I keep saying we like to say it, I don't know if we like to say it all that much.
Next one?
What he said. Look at that! It's a Toyota Tacoma. Yay! We have this guy in for a new radio and some cool speakers. And by cool speakers, that's right, we're gonna do some Focal integration series. Now, you guys always ask, can I just use radio power to power them? Do I need an amplifier? The answer is you can use radio power, and they sound really good on radio power. Granted, they will sound better with an amplifier, not totally necessary. For radio, we're doing the one that you guys love. That's right, the Alpine ILX 107. I'm kidding. So what we got going on is this guy drove in from out of town. He likes this whole YouTube thing. So he wants us to do our stuff and put these bad boys in this, get it all set, ready to go, and sounding good for his trip back home. So the factory radio that he has already has the factory backup camera. It has the cool factory USB, aux jack. He's got steering wheel controls. So he's got all the cool things that you guys want in a radio, but he's willing to switch them out for the aftermarket because he realizes, one, it's a Toyota, factory radios sound like crap, totally. Two, he's really interested in wireless Apple CarPlay. Hey guys, just relax. Next you'll have wireless Android, and I'm sure you guys will be all cheesed up about that. So first thing we have to do, get the radio out, match up our harnesses, make sure we have everything we need there. What are you gonna start on?
Speakers.
I know, right? Who could have guessed that? Now as for the rear doors, it's pretty straightforward. Make sure you remove the plastic cover off the tweeter, right? And it's just a simple 3 screws, plug in, and done. So the one nice thing about a Toyota Tacoma is they really haven't changed the process to get this radio out in forever. You just pull these air conditioning controls and 4 10mm bolts, the whole radio pops out. For this install, the customer brought his own crux harness. Never used one of those before, but I just read the instructions and it looks pretty straightforward. I will say it's kind of nice. It comes with everything you need. It comes with the antenna adapter, the USB, the rear camera retention, so it's all in the box. All right, so first things up is the antenna adapter. Looking at this antenna adapter, it's not an amplified, so we're not gonna need this blue wire coming off of it. USB plugs in, so we're good there. It plugs in and the wires look like they match up on the other side, so we're good with that harness. This is the auxiliary as well as secondary functions like reverse and emergency brake. They plug in as well. And then we have the main power harness, which is a standard 1761, and the rear speakers. So those are both right on the money. And then the other thing it comes with is it comes with an adapter. There's 2 of these harnesses for the backup camera, and they come with an adapter just in case you have the other one. Everyone else, for some reason, hasn't figured this out. They just sell 2 different harnesses. So all our harnesses line up, and there's wires on the other side of them, which is a total bonus. The one thing it does have is the auxiliaries are RCA, and of course, most radios don't have RCA auxiliaries on the back. It's going to be an 1/8 inch, so we're going to have to supply them with the RCA to aux jack. Let's head over to the bench and get this dash kit built, get this wiring harness assembled.
I always thought like the pink that was positive.
Grab the speaker plug and plug it in right here. You can see what's positive.
Pink is positive. I know. This is one because the red ones are positive.
Okay.
Oh, this is the red one.
Just check it from behind the radio. Plug that into the radio and then just take the handheld and go here. Look who it is! What's it was like 2 Saturdays in a row. Or like in a lifetime.
You missed me some because last weekend I was in Ocala working a Jeep event.
Yeah.
The weekend before that I was at the Tampa Boat Show working that place. So an XL fits for you.
Yes.
A water bottle.
Ooh,
I forgot. They only make XLs from Alpine, so he's got to eat a box of donuts. So.
Good luck with that.
So the woofer is on phase. The tweeter is out of phase.
So we want to switch the tweeter.
Yeah.
So what if the factory tweeter's wired up out of phase? Pop the factory tweeter. Maybe they just use red as negative.
Yeah, it's out of phase.
Popping out of phase? Really? Pull that door closed. Well, okay, so they put their factory tweeters out of polarity. All right, so let's take a look at this driver's door. Now that we got this done, we're gonna talk about it a little bit and some of the pitfalls of plug and play. So the Toyota factory harness will plug directly into the mid base, no problem. There's definitely enough wire for you to get to it. It's all good there. When you come up to here, this factory plug right here, there's no plug and play for this harness, meaning they supply you with all these parts, but none of these match up to that harness, which is not actually the end of the world, because as you can see, there's wire that come off of it and attach to the tweeter, and all you have to do is snip them and solder in this line here so that you can retain your factory plug. So there is a little bit of effort as far as that. It comes with the mount, as you can see, so this just attaches, goes into the factory bolt, so that's clean as can be. All right, so the one thing we did find is that the polarity on the mid base, this guy here, and the tweeter, they're out of polarity with one another. This meter's negative and that meter's positive. Now, if you want to leave them that way, that's entirely up to you. For some reason, the factory thought that was the way to do it, but we went ahead and changed it. This door, the pink is positive and the purple is negative from behind the radio to the door, and hooking it up that way, the mid-range moves in a positive direction. As you can see from their harness, they have the purple here going to the red, which is the positive, because we went ahead and tested the factory tweeter, and it, as you saw just now, it polarity checked negative. We just wanted to show you that so that if you are thinking of doing the plug and plays or using the existing wiring, just be conscious of the fact that for some reason Toyota puts the tweeters backwards. So for those of you interested in the crux piece, this is the SWR-TY-61N. I like this right here. All the Alpine radios come with this little card, and they have a cool little envelope on the top of the box. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. I guess it's to put it in your wallet, make you feel special card. So the dash kit we're using for this is the 958235CHG from Metra. All right, so for this we're going to need the factory hazard and little screen here. So let's get that off the factory radio. So for some reason they only give you 3 clips, even though the kit actually needs 5. I really don't understand why they did that. From the looks of it though, these 3 clips are made to go across the top here, and we'll just take these bottom clips off the factory and put them on here. Alright, so there we go. This is all put together. Now this is one of my favorite types of kits. That's the kit that the radio isn't attached to, meaning I don't like it. So what we have to do now is we're going to get the brackets onto the side of the radio, and we'll test fit everything so that it all works now while everything is still loose and out of the dash. Now Alpine, like Kenwood and JVC, they all use the fine thread screw. Alright, let's go test fit it in the dash. I'm bringing the screwdriver. Alright, so we have the depth of the radio right. The problem we are running into is the gap. Obviously, if we put it tight across the top, we have almost 3/16 of an inch gap here at the bottom. We gotta figure out how to make this look better. So no matter what we're doing, any position we put this in, this is way too big of a gap for this setup. It really looks bad. So at some point, enough is enough. I've been screwing with this dash kit, and the time it's taken Fernando to put in all these speakers, I'm losing my patience. We've got it to where it looks pretty good, but now the problem is when you touch it, the whole kit wobbles because there again, it's mounted to the dash and not the kit. The two move from one another. The only reason why we're doing this kit is because he brought the kit in with him with the crux harness. I'm done. Pack makes a kit, so I went over and grabbed that. It's the TOYK 973. And it's painted to match, and the radio mounts to the kit. That's gonna end all that. Plus it's a smaller gap because it's a best kit. Talked to the customer, he's like, yeah, I read the reviews on that kit, I really shouldn't have got it, but then I showed him it and he's like, that sucks. That looks so much better. Now I will say the major differences between the kits are like this kit here, this is all painted, unlike the Metra kit where this was a 2-piece and it's screwed together. That did look a little nicer. However, at the end of the day, this is what you're looking at, not this. If this sucks, who really cares how pretty this is?
It's currently clear.
Backup camera works, steering wheel controls work, CarPlay works, USB works. We're good. Got your phone?
Yep.
Alright, so what we want to do is go to Bluetooth and we're going to search for a new. Now the way this sets up is it pairs Bluetooth to connect the Wi-Fi. So once it's connected, now it's going to go pair up the Wi-Fi to it, and then it's going to disconnect from the Bluetooth. You're done with your phone. Factory USB. This will do wired Apple CarPlay. This is auxiliary. Put on the brake. Put it in reverse. New camera here. You want to just look behind you. Mom, dad, sister, wife, whoever gets in the car, they can plug in and do wired CarPlay and not have to pair up or do any of that stuff like that. Press this, get you to Siri. So Apple Music is going to be right here. So the other thing you can do too is if you really want to get crazy on the whole EQ thing, if you download the Tune It app.
Yeah, I just downloaded that.
Okay, so now what you can do, come into the EQ. So here's basic EQ. You come in and it divides it into bass, mid, treble bands now to make life a little bit easier for you. Any questions about the deck?
Nope.
Awesome.
That's good. Dean is finishing the Toyota. I'm gonna go and swap this radio. We're gonna do a quick time lapse. He's gonna get the Kenwood Exelon DPX 592. Let's do it. So this one is done. On to the next one.
All right, this guy is done. Just went through it with the customer because I was waiting on Fernando to pull this truck, so instead of doing it outside, we did it in here.
Done?
Yeah, he's good, he's gone, he's done with that. Bye-bye, Fernando. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. I'm done with this. Thank God, finally. It took forever. All good there. We're gonna get these two out of here. On to the next one. Oh, on a side note, real quick. We're using the Alpine deck power to power these 4 speakers at about 20, like you heard. That's kind of the max on that type of music that he was listening to. Would I recommend adding a small amp? Yeah, totally. Can you get away with not adding a small amp? Yeah, you can. Just how loud you want to play it. Me, balls to the wall all day long, baby. Rocking that factory stereo.